Commas, part 6. Actually, it's not that complicated. In this video series, we're going to talk about the word which and how we can use it to attach extra information into or at the end of a sentence. So here's an example. Judge Duffy's 1991 decision made sampling multiple tracks too expensive for most artists, which hit hip-hop particularly hard. Which helps us to attach what is called a relative phrase onto the end of a complete sentence. The phrase that we're attaching depends on the sentence that it's being attached to. It's relative to that phrase. And it very likely doesn't include another or a second full sentence. So we can use the finger test in order to determine whether we have used the relative phrase and the word which appropriately. So we're going to put our finger over the statement that begins with which and decide whether we can put a full stop using a period at the end of the sentence before the which began. Judge Duffy's 1991 decision made sampling multiple tracks too expensive for most artists. Does this sentence contain a subject and a verb as well as a predicate? Yes, it does. As I've said in the other videos in this series, it's best to look for that verb first. It's the easiest thing to find. So it's the thing that's doing the action. Here we see made is our verb. So who's doing that action? Judge Duffy's 1991 decision is doing that action. So that's our subject. And what's the predicate or object of that? What's the result of that action? Sampling multiple tracks too expensive for most artists. That's the subject. Can we put a period at the end of this? Yes, we can. Is this a complete sentence? Yes, it is. Can we put a comma and a which at the end of it? Yes, we can, in order to introduce a little bit of extra information. So let's read our paragraph again with an example of a relative phrase built into it. The American culture wars, spanning from 1980 through the early 1990s, killed sampling culture. Despite the strong gains for freedom of expression made during the culture wars, a 1991 court decision, written by Judge Kevin Duffy, made all unlicensed sampling illegal. Due to this ruling, sampling multiple tracks became too expensive for most artists, which hit hip-hop particularly hard, given that sampling is a foundation of hip-hop culture.